Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Jonathan Samim. I'm from main campus of Daffodil International University. I'm a student of BBA program, and this presentation is prepared for Beauty Akhtar ma'am. Today, the topic of my presentation is show your teaching skill. And now I'm going to show my teaching skill. Dear students, hope all of you are doing well. So today I'm going to talk about the reading module of IELTS. I'm going to tell you some top IELTS reading tips. So basically there are two types of reading in IELTS. One is general and the other one is academic. So these IELTS reading tips you can use in both ways. So here comes my first tip I have for you is do not spend too much time reading the passage. What happens to a lot of students read word for word and they read everything. They see a word, they don't know it, and they keep trying to understand the meaning. So you don't have to understand everything to understand the passage. During the reading module, IELTS, there will be 3 passages that you have to read. For each passage, there will be a bunch of questions. So the key thing here is to do not read slowly. It's a time test. And you have 3 parts. You have to get through 40 questions. And it's very important that you read quickly. You can start reading practicing quickly also. There are a number of resources out there where you can actually start practicing and time yourself when you practice. Make sure you are not going over time. Here comes the most important part of IELTS reading tips, skimming and scanning. Skimming means at first you have to read the passage quickly. You have to find the keywords and bold words in the passage. Now coming to the scanning part. Scanning means quickly searching for a particular word or term. In scanning, you have to search for keywords. You have to do less reading and more searching. That was the basic concept of skimming and scamming. Tips number 2. Similar to number 1, my tip is do not spend too much time on reading the question. Some of the questions are difficult and they are possible. While reading this type of question, you might think, oh, I don't know what the answer is. And you might look at it and think and try. Well, the problem is if you spend too much time on a question, there are 40 questions and 1 hour time limit for the test. It goes very quickly. So you cannot spend too much time on each question. So what I recommend is read a question, try to figure out the answer. If you do not know it, you can put a star beside it and come back later. Don't spend too long time on any question. You can also take a guess and move on and come back later. My third tip, spend less time on earlier question. For the reading module, there are passages. The first passage is the easiest and the second and third passage. If you spend all your time on the first passage, you are not going to have time to do the second one and the third one. And like I said, the first one is easier. So a good idea is to spend less time on the first passage, maybe about 17 minutes. And then the second passage, maybe about 20 minutes. And third passage, maybe about 23 minutes. You don't have to follow this exactly, but this means the idea is to spend less time on part 1, more time on part 3, and more time on part 3 because part 3 is harder. My fourth tip for today is to make sure you have enough time to transfer your answer. Fifth tip for today is a lot of students don't read instruction properly. And it's a very big mistake they make. A lot of students, they have done a lot of IELTS reading tests and they think they know it. So they don't bother reading the instruction. Always read the instruction. even if you have done 100 IELTS reading tests. Read the instructions just to make sure. For example, some common mistake that happen is for multiple choice in the reading section. Maybe the question will ask you to choose two answers. If you don't read the instruction properly, you might pick one, or maybe it asks for you to pick three answers. So it's very important to read the instruction properly. My last tip for today is another common mistake for students make. Their spelling and grammar error. A lot of students forget that reading section also has a writing component. And that is you have to write your answer. The best thing is to do is after you write your answer, check it and see if the grammar make any sense. Where they're looking for a singular answer, where they're looking for a plural answer, okay? That's very important to keep an eye out for. So that was all about reading tips, and thank you so much for your attention.